So my channel, I have covered, drama before, and then I will probably cover more. It's not going to be a new issue. It's going to be things that I will cover if it piques my interest. But this today piques my interest just a little bit more. Consider it dialing it to 11, because I can't say that this is a person. To get around the guidelines or censorship, stuff like that, I will call them a minor attracted person, just so you understand what type of monster I'm talking about. Now, to me, they're not people. They're not. They, deserve none of my sympathy ever. And I have to say, people with bigger followings that can get away with the language they use, by all means, I am there for it. And JD Delay has to be my number one superhero when it comes to talking trash about these types of people. He says what everybody thinks, and somehow he can just get away with it. And I'm fine with that. But this is a beef that I have to say I am 100% backing, and I'm glad it got into his radar. Because there's a guy that has pretty much been now deleted off TikTok, but I did find a channel that looks like it's his, and the comments have been turned off for a while now, and unfortunately people are backing this trash up.
Yes, I am a registered sex offender. I spent 3.5 years in prison for assaulting a 12-year-old girl.
It is my goal, my aspiration, to teach your offspring, your young, how to make love. Yes, I'm talking 10, 11, 12 years old. I want to teach your children how to make love.
It may seem like I'm a little bit late to the party on this, but I don't beef with on the internet. I beef with them in real life. First off, who is this dude? Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Jesse Wayne Stark out of Portland, Oregon.
That, my guys, is JD Delay. If you're kind of new to the channel or you didn't know who I was talking about, JD Delay is a reformed criminal that was in the Oregon State pen, and he's basically on here to either educate people, tell his story, and inform people on what it was like for his time locked up. And I've enjoyed a lot of his stories, a lot of the goofy shit he said, and pretty much all around what he is for. Essentially, think of him kind of like, Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll is a reformed criminal that is trying to preach positivity, and he probably takes a few extra steps than JD, but at the same time, they still try to spread a positive message. What I like about JD Delay is his negative message towards these types of monsters. Now, MAPs, if you want to call them that, are not people to me. They are disgusting, they're monsters, and they deserve no sympathy. Now, unfortunately, this person, somehow like a roach, is still surviving his, extermination of social media. He's made it on TikTok for a while. I think he's had a few different accounts. People have been backing him up. He's pretty much been nonstop getting deleted. People keep finding it and keep deleting his stuff. Now, I'm going to have to kind of mute, I guess, or, censor some of the stuff that's going to be said in this video. But the stuff that's about to be brought up is actually a channel I ran across, and I found it kind of odd. Now, be careful. I don't know if this channel is directly his, but every video has him. And even the description says something about it. So I'm going to tell you what it is. Free Range Human Project. Now, those are with hyphens, and the last word between human and project is spaced. And the reason why I bring them up is because literally in the About section, it says the beginning of Black Sheep Tiny House Company, which is literally what his TikTok was named. And he's been doing videos since around, say 2016. It's been a little while. 7 years, so yeah, about 2016-ish. And for those 7 years that he's been doing content, at least YouTube, he stopped about a year ago and started uploading on TikTok. And he's amassed a following and a lot of people supporting him. And what you don't see is a lot of the stuff where people are actually funding him, and openly he is bragging about the fact that he is a criminal that is trying to educate children. And to top it off, he is also a an offender himself that is no longer on the registry due to legal reasons, whatever the reason behind it was. You'd have to go through JD Delay's whole coverage on that. I don't want to take that from him. But this is what I found on his channel way before he basically came across everybody's radar.
She was scooting around on the floor. She did this thing where she was laying on her back in a fuzzy sweatshirt and using her feet to kind of push herself around the floor. And she scooted herself right in between my legs. as I was standing facing the counter. So, she was looking kind of up, kind of in between my legs. I was wearing baggy cargo shorts, and she reached right up the leg of my shorts. I wasn't prepared. That day where she dipped her head under my arm and put my hand on her is the moment in which some sort of switch kind of got flipped in me.
Now, those two videos are disgusting, and they are also not the same story he has been talking about lately. The story he's been using is not that, she was running around off the floor, scooting around on the floor and grabbed my... It is actually worse, not to mention, while the whole situation is still disgusting, he goes on in his new videos to talk about how he was taking a shower, and this child came into the shower, which at that point, you are the adult, you can handle the situation. I don't care if the child themselves are a little messed up, you still could have controlled the situation. Now, in the videos I showed you, his actual YouTube videos, he starts talking about primal urges, this, that, and the other, and biology, and being a complete disgusting human being. But in the videos on TikTok, he talks about how the child forcibly basically grabbed his hand while he's in a shower, and placed the hand downstairs. And that's apparently what got him in trouble. Now, anybody with half a brain would know that that's a lie. And if it's not even a lie, he allowed it to happen anyway. He is not a child. This person was. You are the adult in the situation. You are supposed to handle it a lot better than that. Now, the story he says in the YouTube video is that the child grabbed him and placed their hand, or his hand, on the upper area. And the thing about that is, you still are in control. You can stop all this from happening. Not a single bit of this is not in your control. But unfortunately, he has a bunch of backers and people that are donating to him, giving him money, and it's actually sickening that anybody would back this type of monster up. And good thing that JD DeLay has been on the phone with like the FBI, the local police. He's trying to get this guy, caught. Because it's not just the story he's telling, which could be a lie. It could be actually worse. It's the fact that he's talking about he's going after people's children to teach them about, sexual relations and such. And that's disgusting. First off, you are a grown-ass man. Second, that's not your children. While there is supposed to be a educational system in school and stuff, the parents, at least when I was in school, you had to sign off on that type of stuff. You are not the person to say that. It is up to the parents to decide if, the school will do it or if they do it themselves. Somebody like you, who's a and a monster and a disgusting human being, should not be the one doing it. Now, I think I'm going to have to mute the fact I just used the P word, because I don't think you can use that on YouTube. Like I said, I'm going to try to get this video not monetizable, because I'm not monetized, but to get it to as many ears and as many eyes as possible, because I want everybody to kind of, understand that this creep exists, and if you see him or somebody whose kids may run across his content, to stay away from him. That's why I don't have his name censored or anything, because he was charged. He is, a criminal. He was found guilty, and the problem with it is everything's pretty much expunged now. You can't see the charges that I know of, and he's not on the registry because whatever the time served, and it's been X amount of time, this, that, and the other. It's unfortunate because he's not on the registry, and also, I know people are going to say apparently you shouldn't be able to have social media if you were a registered offender at one point in time. That's not entirely true. I was watching a new video on JD DeLay's TikTok that was stated in 2017. It got put down as a human right or whatever. Even being a criminal, you are not subject to not having social media or access to it. I think it has to be a clause or in your charge or in your release or whatever for you not to be on the internet. But unfortunately, it is not, that black and white where if you're, registered, you're automatically not able to have access. That's not the case, unfortunately. Because, these are not people, not to me. You can argue it until you're blue in the face. I'm not going to agree with it. And that's why I'm talking about the guy. And it really does anger me. I do have nieces, and one of them is around the age he's talking about. And it's disgusting for somebody like that to try to justify it and try to act like they are the victim in this whole situation. While yes, there is certain people who have been put in situations that would call for them to be basically innocent but still get registered. I understand that there's certain stipulations, but this is not one of them. This does not fall under that. This is not one of those, well, you know, it's just circumstantial. No, you had full control. Don't even try to pretend you didn't. It's absolutely nasty, disgusting, and I think I've probably spoken enough about it. If you need, go to TikTok. I don't know how to tag other, social media sites and channels and stuff like that. And I don't know what his YouTube channel is. If you don't know, just look up JD Delay, Delay on TikTok, and just go through and you'll see his coverage on it. If anything else, like I said, go look up his the account itself, by name, which is going to be, it's going to be Black Sheep Tiny House Company Controversy. There's a few people covering it, as well as they should, but as of right now, there's not much that can be done that I can see. But Mr. Delay is on top of it. So yeah, good on you, bud. I hope everything you're doing will bear fruit. But yeah, that's about all I got to say. Y'all have a good one.